Hey there everybody, how's it going? Nice to see you again. So I am up at the lake at about 7,100 feet and it's 75 degrees here, which is absolutely beautiful. Down where I live at about 2,700 feet, it's 100 degrees and smoky. And it's a nice clear day up here, but the only thing is there's about 500 people up here kayaking and fishing and carrying on with kids and everything. I can't blame them. This is the place to go in the middle of the summertime when it's 100 degrees down in the valley. So, so a lot of interesting little tidbits of news and stuff, things that are happening with my photography as things change and as I move along and as I experience different things. So the big announcement is I put my first photography book together, and it's kind of a retrospective. The earliest photographs are from 1991, and there's 3 sections. There's the first section is film, and then the second section is a bunch of photographs that I took around 2006, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then there's more recent work. And that's just the way it broke down. These were the photographs that I had that made it into the book. And it was really kind of interesting to put that together and to lay it all out and to pick the photographs, etc. There's about 55 photographs in it, and it's about 100 pages. And it's actually the stage that the book is in right now is the proof copy is being printed. So that should come back in a couple of weeks, and then judging, I'll make some changes if there is any changes that need to be made. And then probably in September, middle of September, I'll put in an order for a bunch of books. And once the proof copy comes back and I see what it's going to look like and I'll see what changes there need to be made, I will open that up for pre-orders, which is exciting. So yeah, I'm excited. It should be a really nice book, hardcover, about 100 and something 102 pages, something like that. And color and black and white, because I've got a bunch of color stuff from the past 10 or 15 years that made it in the book. So, 2 things. I've noticed that though, in laying that book out, I noticed that, and it's amazing how laying a book out can crystallize your vision of what your photography is and what you want it to look like moving forward. Because it really gave me a window into like, okay, what photograph, I mean, I take a lot of photographs, but it really gave me a window into like, okay, what photographs made the cut into the book. There's a few takeaways from that. So my photography, there's, if I wanted to say what it kind of feels like to me, in terms of like YouTube photographers that you guys may know, it's kind of Photo Tripper for the color stuff, and it's kind of Adrian, AOWS, his YouTube channel, his photography, what he's been doing, black and white squares in the with the feeling of like Bill Brandt or Michael Kenna, and Photo Tripper more along the lines of kind of Galen Rowell, is, you know, the bombastic, colorful, although I would say that Gavin Hardcastle, Photo Tripper, is more bombastic. And what do I mean by that? It's a very in-your-face color, right? And some of my color work is kind of like that, although I think my color work looks a little bit more like a painting. When I was doing art shows, I got that comment a lot, but that's okay. Either way, color is color, and there's kind of, it's not, color's color, and it is what it is, and you kind of have to be in colorful places and take those colorful shots, and it kind of locks you into the iconic photography and going out and searching out those iconic color shots, where that's why moving forward I'm more attracted to like the Michael Kenna, Bill Brandt, AOWS Adrian, the work that he's doing, that kind of thing. So that's what I'm kind of leaning towards moving forward. And I think what I'm going to do, or what I've got in my head, is that I'm going to do the square black and whites, trying to do like the Michael Kenna minimalist, AOWS, Bill Brandt kind of black and whites. But if a color shot presents itself, and they're few and far between, I'm not going to say no, right? Okay. So that's what I have in my head in terms of like the parameters that I want my photography moving forward to be in. On that note, so if you've watched this channel for a long time, you know that I have been like 51-49 on like APS-C versus full frame. And with 51% of me kind of leaning towards APS-C, the Fujifilm X series APS-C cameras. I really love those cameras. But having said that, having laid out the book, and having seen, well, my film work from 30 years ago and my digital color work from 15 years ago, and then my recent work, okay? So the film work, that's film work. It's a completely different animal. It's a completely, different fish. So I was shooting with a Nikon D700 with the 14-24, the 24-70, 70-200 2.8s. And it was great. I really enjoyed it. I remember that. But more interestingly, it was only 12 megapixels. And comparing that to the new Fuji 40 megapixel APS-C work that I've done recently, the 40 megapixel Fujis, there's more resolution. The images can be enlarged more when I print them, but there's a certain three-dimensionality, or a certain, it's hard to describe, there's a certain smoothness to the D700 images that I haven't seen since I shot a D700, okay? And I haven't shot with a full frame, modern full frame, 40 megapixel, whatever, long enough to experience that, but I'm sure it's there, like I've seen hints of it. And so it kind of has tipped me over the edge in terms of like, I kind of want that 3D smoothness that full frame gives you. The resolution's there as far as APS-C is concerned, but it's hard to describe. There's a smoothness, there's a, just a 3D look. I'm not going to say micro contrast because you can get that in APS-C. Anyway, so it's kind of tipped me over like 51-49 now. And so along those lines, I picked up a A7R5 and an A7 IV for my video work, and yeah, and I'm gonna rock those for a while. I've got the Fuji's in the bag, whatever. Not with me because I can't carry it all, but lens selection, it's there. Having done that book made me realize like there's lenses I'm missing and there's lenses I enjoyed. So Sigma makes this really, really high quality 14-24 2.8 that's relatively inexpensive in the Sony mount. And what's really cool, they even make these filters that go in the back. So with a super wide angle lens like that, a 14mm full frame lens, even up to 20/20, you can kind of get away with a polarizer on a 24mm, but that's about the limit. When you use a polarizer on anything as wide as a 20mm, parts of your sky get dark and parts aren't. So it's really, you can't really use a polarizer with a wide angle lens unless you're shooting something that's I don't know, it still doesn't work that hot. So I'm not too concerned about the polarizer. But what I am concerned about, and something I do want to do with a wide angle lens, is long exposure photography. Like, you know, a couple of 10 stop neutral density. Well, this company Haida makes these filters that snap in the back of that 14 to 24. Well, that's perfect. So, so they give you a 3 stop, a 4 stop, a 6 stop, and a 10 stop. And that's all I need for a lens like that. And then, of course, the 24 to 72/8. Well, nowadays, the Sony 20 to 70, you can't go too far wrong with that lens. That's a great lens, the f4. And the 70 to 200 2.8, you know, the Tamron 70 to 300, I think it's 5 something to 6.3 or whatever it is. That's a really great, sharp, lightweight lens that would replace that. And then, of course, Sigma makes the 100 to 400, which, you know, I never had that focal length in the past, but that seems to be the lens de guerre of today. So everybody's got a 100 to 400, you got to have it. Heavy, don't think I'll carry it around with me all the time, but when I'm going out for specific shots that require it, nice to have it in the bag. And so I'm really feeling confident in that, because that's this time. Before it was 50-50, and I really didn't want to spend the money. I did, you know, just wasn't really into it. But this time around, it feels different, because that book really made me realize, like, yeah, I'm missing something that I had with that D700 that I don't have with the Fujis. And don't get me wrong, I love the Fujis. That 70 to 300, that's a 100 to 450 equivalent, that's super lightweight. That's a great lens. And that makes that system a lot more portable. But having said all that, you know, there's a smoothness to the images. So I'm up here at the lake. The kids are yelling and screaming. I'm sure you can hear that. We're up at about 7,000 feet, and it's beautiful here. I'm going to take some shots. And so there you have it. So anyway, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, because that really helps me out tremendously. And we'll see you out here. Have a great one. Bye.